Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I will talk about most common refusal reasons for the SINP application. And I will also discuss about how to avoid these mistakes so your SINP application will not be rejected. So guys, before I start, I do create lots of videos about how to become Canada PR with fastest, easiest and cheapest ways in the year 2020. So please do subscribe my YouTube channel to receive the latest updates about Canada immigration, so you do not miss a single video in your journey to become a Canada PR. Okay, so now let's begin. The first reason is that if you do not have sufficient funds or the old funds, it means that if you do not maintain the sufficient funds, then your SINP application can be rejected. So many people are aware with this fund requirement, but in SINP there is a one different requirement is you need to show the old funds. Means you need to deposit the funds at least prior to 3 months in your to the application submission. Fine, so you must have minimum funds required for minimum of 3 months before you submit your application. Fine, so this requirement is somewhat different from the express entry. Fine, so you be careful. And how you do that, how to prove that this fund is 3 months old. So for that you can include your fund statements or the bank statements which shows detailed transaction history for at least 3 months before the date of your SINP application is submitted. Okay, and make sure that your funds should be in the name of principal applicant and or spouse only. Fine, so many people forget to upload it, so you must attach 3 months old statements, otherwise your application can be refused or rejected. Okay, so now the reason number 2. The number 2 is the proof of work experience does not meet the SINP documentation requirement. It means that the documents that you have submitted with your SINP applications which is not sufficient, and in that case you may get 0 points under the work experience section. Fine, so which makes you the ineligible and your application can be refused. So what you should do when you include letter of reference or your work experience letter for your each job position, in addition to that you should also include at least 3 additional documents which shows proof of employment. For example, you can show these documents, and one of these documents must be from the government issued. Okay, so you can show any one of these documents. You have provident funds, PF funds, fine, medical insurance, social security record, any work permit, work visa, fine, any employment contracts. And if you don't have this foreign experience, you have these things: your salary slips, salary account details and the tax documents. Fine, again this is not a requirement, compulsory requirement in the express entry, but however it is required in the SINP applications. Fine, so please do not forget to include at least 3 documents, and one is government issued document when you submit your SINP application. Okay, now the third important reason is the requirements are not met. Many people got rejected for this reason. The reason is you do not meet the requirement, means you do not meet the 60 points out of 100 points in the skilled worker points assessment grid. Means it may be because you or your consultant are not aware with the SINP points assessment grid and requirement documents. So you have not submitted the documents correctly, and because of that your points can be reduced, and which makes you the ineligible. So my friends, don't trust on anyone. Calculate your points by own and understand the SINP points assessment grid and check the list of the requirement documents. Okay, so if you don't know how to calculate your SINP points, I have made one video on that. So using that you can calculate your SINP points for SINP occupation in demand category and for SINP express entry category. So if you wish you can watch it. Okay, so the fourth reason is your work experience does not match with your occupation and education. Fine, I saw many people who got rejected due to this reason, because they choose the wrong NOC code, or they choose the NOC code where this things doesn't match. It means that your work experience must be in the field of your completed post-secondary education, training or apprenticeship. For example, if you studied Bachelor of Computer Science and you are working as a mechanical engineer in the company which does not relate with your past education, so both the things are not related. So when you choose your NOC code, it must be related with your education too. One more example is, let's say in your application your intended occupation is NOC 7312, which is heavy duty equipment mechanic, and as per the assessment criteria of SINP, they determine that your combined education and the work experience is as a mechanical engineer rather than heavy duty equipment mechanic. Fine, so this both are the similar fields, but you have chosen the wrong NOC. Because of that your file can be rejected. So make sure that you choose your NOC carefully, which matches with your past education requirements and the work experience. So if you don't know how to find your NOC, I have made a video on that, so you can find your NOC by looking this video. So if you are interested, you can watch it. Okay, so the next and the last reason for the refusal of your SINP application is your current or past work experience is not from the excluded SINP in demand occupation list at the time of your application submission. Fine, so any of the work experience which is not from the excluded in demand occupation list. Fine, so many people take care about the current work experience, but I saw few people who forgot to check about the past work experience, okay, whether it was in demand or not. For example, you worked in a company for 8 years with XYZ NOC code and job title. Let's say for example NOC 2713, which is for software engineers and designers. but before that you worked as a post-secondary teaching and research assistant NOC 4012, and which is not in SINP in demand occupation list currently, at least as on 10th June 2020. So what will happen in this case if you claim your work experience for the 8 plus 2 years? So what will happen is that you may not get the points for this NOC 4012 because it is not in demand, it is in the excluded occupation list. So which can reduce your score, which can reduce your cutoff marks, and which makes you ineligible, so your file can be refused or it can be rejected, guys. So the simple suggestion is you should verify your current and past work experience with its NOC code, and you have to also check excluded occupation list of the SINP twice before you submit your application. Okay, so the conclusion is these are the most common reasons that I have observed, that because of that the people got the rejection in the SINP application. So guys, please avoid these mistakes when you submit your SINP application, and ask your queries in the comment section of this video if you have, and share your reviews about this video in the comment section, and please do not forget to subscribe my YouTube channel to receive the latest updates and videos about Canada immigration, and click on the like button if you like the video. Thank you, best wishes.